Welcome all. Today I have some joyous news for everyone. Well, not for everyone, but okay, for a lot of people, I guess. So, due to popular demand on Udemy, I have for Mac instructions and for tutorials on a Mac, I have decided to actually acquire a MacBook Pro and do the demonstrations on it, the setup instructions on how to install VirtualBox, how to do a pass-through, and pretty much anything else that you might ask of me to do. I will be happy to do it if I can. And also, for some of the problems that people have been experiencing on a Mac, now I can relate to you. Now you can write to me and I can attempt to recreate the problems and find the solutions. But before I actually begin with the tutorial itself, I would like to share I would like to share my experience thus far with a Mac. This is something I really feel that I need to do. First of all, the price. When I saw what the prices were for Macs, that was pretty detrimental and demoralizing with me going around and looking for a used Mac. But oh well, I guess it needed to be done. So here it is. What I've acquired to purchase is a MacBook Pro from late 2011 with a 2.4 gigahertz i7 quad-core processor and with 4 gigabytes of RAM and with a dedicated AMD graphics card. So I have replaced the RAM. I have went to the official Mac service here, and I've asked them about the RAM and Mac, and they basically said that I could either insert one 8 gigabyte slot, and that would work in conjunction with my 2 gigabyte slot, which was on a lower frequency, but then both of them would work on a lower frequency, or I could insert two of them. Upon realizing what the price was for two, I promptly instructed him to insert only one into this Mac, as I don't really need more than 10 gigabytes of RAM. However, the frequency is a bit lower. Anyway, that is the hardware that I have so that you know what I'm working with, so that you can compare it to your own and understand my limitations if there are any. And I also have the latest update of Yosemite installed here. And I have created a dedicated account for Udemy. As you can see in the upper right corner, it says Udemy. I have not installed anything on this account with this account. So this is as it gets. This is stock. And I will go through the install. And now I will go through some of the tutorials and show you how to install VirtualBox, Kali, and set up a pass-through. I mean, things are fairly same, if not exactly the same, but some people have been experiencing some problems. I have not done anything on this Mac. I have not done any additional installations or anything like that. So I want to see if I will encounter the same problems while instructing you, and let's see if I am able to resolve them quickly. If I'm able to resolve them quickly, I'll leave it in the tutorial. If I'm not, I'll cut out the long parts and see what I can do. Anyway, my experience thus far with Yosemite, well, I am not too thrilled with it, not too enthusiastic. I mean, the design is nice. Both the MacBook Pro design is very nice, and the layout of the operating system is very nice, but it doesn't have the amount of customizability and it doesn't have the amount of options that I have with Fedora, really. I don't have the same amount of freedom, but it is true what they say. Things just tend to work with Mac. There are no problems of whatsoever. It runs smoothly, the battery is great and all that, but I just don't have the same features that I have in Linux. Even though the terminal commands are fairly similar, I don't have the same amount of freedom to mess around with my system as I do have in Linux. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't enjoy my experience with a Mac that much. But I mean, it's okay, it's fine. This is a perfectly legit operating system. I would definitely be able to use it, and I do not think that it would be a bad experience. Contrary, I believe that it would be a fantastic experience, but I am not switching from Linux, like, no way. Anyway, so let's go ahead and begin with the basics. The first thing that you need to do if you are a Mac user to follow through this tutorial, you will need to install a virtual machine of Kali Linux or create a dual boot. Today, I am going to demonstrate how to or do a dual boot with Kali, but uh, dual boot with Kali, I wouldn't really recommend because there isn't that much point to it. It's a lot easier to install a VirtualBox, as most of the wireless cards in Macs won't really be good for packet injection anyway. Well, you might ask me, well, what is the difference? Can't we do packet injection with VirtualBox and stuff through a virtual machine with VirtualBox? No, you cannot do that because if we install a virtual machine, that virtual machine does not have access to your integrated wireless card. The only thing that you can do is pass a USB wireless adapter to that virtual machine and then do the packet injection. This, I do believe that I shall demonstrate as well. A workaround for this on most laptops, including MacBooks, is simply to create a dual boot and then or a live boot, and then a live boot is basically to create a USB of Kali. There is a tutorial. There's a separate tutorial for that. But those two options remain, and then you can access your hardware directly. But then again, there is no point in doing that if your wireless card does not support packet injection or is simply not good for it. So I would advise you to get a wireless adapter, and if you still want to attempt a dual boot or a live version, I mean, by all means, feel free to do so. And I really, really, really hope that it does work out. But in this tutorial, I will show you how to install VirtualBox. Also, by the way, if you have any other requests, what you would like me to demonstrate on a Mac, feel free to ask it of me. But I'm only going to go in terms of configuration. If you want the stuff from the course that I do in Linux and you want to do the same things on a Mac, that's not a good idea. Let me just leave it at that. And let's go ahead and begin with this already because I'm looking at my timer. I've been babbling for about 7 minutes. Yeah. Okay, so let's open up. I'm going to open up a default web browser. I'm not going to install Firefox or anything like that. With my main user, I have installed Firefox so I can use it. But as I said, this is I'm running this at stock. I have no intention of changing the default installation. So let's go ahead and first open up a VirtualBox website. So let's go ahead and perform the search. Type in VirtualBox and search for it. Okay, so we got https virtualbox.org. Okay, so here we go. So check if it's secured. Safari is using encrypted connection. Digital certificates keep information private to send. Show the certificates. Fight signed, VirtualBox issued by VeriSign. Okay, so they are the ones, I know that they're the ones issuing the certificate for this site, so that's fine. Go ahead and check the certificate anyway and make sure that it's HTTPS just in case, because people tend to put fake websites quite a good amount of time. And then go into downloads. And from the downloads, you can see, oh, I didn't configure this bar down the road. Okay, so let's go ahead and configure this bar. I'm sorry, this is just going to take a minute. The dock, I'm sure that pretty much all the Mac users know how to do this. Hide it. Thank you. And let's expand this. By the way, I really like this feature with the Mac that you can slide left and right with 3 fingers. Anyway, let's go ahead and select the OS X version of VirtualBox. So we got VirtualBox for Windows hosts, OS X hosts. Let's go ahead and select that one. The download is proceeding. And it's going pretty fast for me anyway. Or so I like to think. I don't have the fastest internet connection out there. It's 80 megabytes down and 10 megabits up. 80 megabits down and 10 megabits up, but it does serve its purpose. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up this file. Let it run. No big deal, shouldn't take too long. Checking volumes, finishing. Thank you. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin with the installation. This is the first time I'm actually installing something in a Mac. So I've done this deliberately. I did not want to do this installation prior to this so that I can put myself into somebody's shoes and that I would encounter the same exact problems that you yourselves would encounter. I'm hoping that I will encounter them to an extent anyway. Okay, so double click, run the application. Let's go ahead and see what it says. Double click on this icon. Okay, never mind that. Run the VirtualBox application. Let's see, will this work? No? Yes? Excellent. Okay, so I'm lying in my user installation. I did install Firefox, so that's something. But I did not install VirtualBox prior to this. And let's go ahead and open up applications. And where do you suppose it is? VirtualBox. There we go. So VirtualBox package. The package will run program to determine if the software can be installed. Okay. Introduction. Thank you for the introduction. Change install location. What is the default install location? Install only for me. Why doesn't it give this option? I don't get maybe it's stuck or something. No, it's definitely not stuck, but it seems to be. I see. No, yes. Okay, that's just a certificate. Install for all users on this computer. So I do not know how to change this. Apparently I don't have the ability to change it. Continue, change, install, locate, customize. Let's see what this does. Okay, so the command line tools, maybe I shall use them. The utilities, not a bad idea. Box, kernel extensions. Okay, so it seems to have everything pre-packaged here. That is very nice. I could actually disable one package, but it doesn't allow me to go ahead and destroy the kernel extensions. But okay, I mean, they're needed for it to work. And but what I am bothered with the most, I'm sure that somebody's looking at me with and saying, "Wow, what a stupid person you are. You can't even change the location, the destination." But yeah, I suppose it has to install for everybody. That seems a bit strange, doesn't it? Oh well, not really a big deal. To be honest, I kind of need VirtualBox and my other users as well. So let's go ahead and on my main user, I need the VirtualBox as well. I was meaning to install it anyway. So let's go ahead and skip that shameful part. And the instructor that knows nothing. Okay, so it's requesting me that I confirm this with a password. So let's go ahead and type it in. There we go. The strange thing for me coming to a Mac is that there's like the homebrew that the packet manager that I can install for OS X, but it is very annoying to actually have to install that, to not have package manager by default. Okay, so I have 30 minutes remaining. Hopefully we can finish it as I am running short, as I only have like 6 more minutes of the tutorial due to the limitations on Udemy. So that is the installation procedure for VirtualBox. It seems to be installed now. Let's go ahead and run it. And I probably don't need this anymore. Uh, is this how you delete things? No, that's how you remove them from the dock. Oh well, I'll just use the file manager to remove it. Can I use the file manager to remove it? Don't need this. Close this. Excellent. So there we go. And let's go into the applications and move to trash. Now we're going to go ahead and start VirtualBox. I don't have an SSD in this, so keep that in mind. The version with an SSD was kind of expensive, but I might decide to upgrade later on if it's worth the while. Probably is in terms of speed. Then again, I don't use this laptop for much other than web browsing. And let's go ahead and now that we have this set up, now we're going to go ahead and basically just download Kali, and in the next tutorial we're going to install it. So go to Safari and then type in just Kali. Should pop up the right one. HTTPS. Change to English. Thank you. So there we go. The first one is Kali Linux penetration testing, HTTPS. We're going to go into downloads. And keep in mind that you can either download a Kali 2.0 image from here in different sections of the instructions. I use different versions. I have updated certain sections of the tutorial which are considered to be vital. But as when you watch this, if there is a newer version of Kali, just go ahead and download it. Should be fine, no problems. So you can either download this one, the ISO file from here, or you can go ahead and oh, what did I do? Ah, come on. Where is it? There we go. So you can either download the ISO file from here, this one, or you can go down below and select officially ARM and VMware images for virtual machines. So you have pre-built Kali Linux VMware images, and you have pre-built Kali Linux VirtualBox images. So you can use these as well. Keep that in mind. Okay, so just for the time being, I would like you to just go ahead and download this pre-built version. So it says Kali Linux 64-bit VirtualBox, and we're just gonna go ahead and click do I have any torrent clients installed here? Are you serious? I do. No, this is just the image. This is just the file that starts the download. Any chance I have it installed? Of course not. Okay, so let's just go ahead and click on the image and download it. So the download is proceeding. So by the time I come back in the next tutorial, the download will finish and I will be able to show you how you can install it. And then we can go into USB pass-through on a Mac. Anyway, until then, I bid you farewell, and I sincerely hope that you are all pleased with this.